PLC for March 13th, science 3 through 6. I have Bray Felton and Ms. Carletta Stinson. So mostly what we need to talk about is upcoming atlas. Do you have any glows or grows for, I know we haven't met in a while, but.
Well, okay, so on the only thing I do have a question about, on the atlas, on the behavior rubric.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in writing, when we did writing last week, I mean, and this was in all 3 classes, but a lot of them did not use their scratch paper.
Okay.
And so we felt like, I mean, none of them would get rewarded because they have to have 18 and it was writing and it all had to be typed. So they really did not, which was not, I don't know if maybe Morgan needs to practice with them on using the writing, you know, which is over with now, but
Yeah.
like for next year.
So what we had everybody on this hallway did was on the scratch paper, they did their ideas. I had one child 45 minutes before she ever started typing because she had written down everything, like all of her ideas and whatever on that piece of scratch paper. I had one child use 3 pieces of scratch paper. So it's just different. But they were told they had to either, because Sierra had taught them how to do like boxes.
Like the diagrams.
Yes.
Graphic organizer.
So that's what most of these kids that tested my room did. That's what they did. But that's why I wanted to try to have a meeting with 3rd grade before we started testing, but we just ran out of time. We just didn't have time to do it.
Because I know that, I mean, literally none of them use it for writing.
Well,
Now,
then-
they will for math, 100%.
Yes.
But,
And for science, they need to use it because so many of those questions are graphs. And I put an example of the graph from our 5th grade one in here. This is an actual practice question from the Atlas portal. So they can use their scratch paper, and I answered this one myself on the portal just to see how it would work. But because there's so many sections of it that you have to look at and go back and forth, that's what I've told them. Use that scratch paper to write down whatever this question, the first question is asking you. And then you don't have to keep scrolling up and down and back and forth. Just write that question down and then plug in the answers underneath it. Then the second part, same thing. Write down the question, what the question is asking you, and then plug in the answers underneath it. Because you had there was some math you had to do on this, and looking at diagrams. I mean, it was like 3 or 4 parts. It took me 10 minutes to answer the first question, just because there were so many different dynamics to it. Have you looked at this?
Yeah.
On the Atlas portal?
we've done it.
You've done some of them?
I have, but not the kids.
The kids haven't?
No. Because, you know, when we did the little practice test for science both times, it was exactly the same.
Yeah, they're
Both times.
always going to be exactly the
Exactly the
same.
same.
But these questions are not.
Not. Okay.
So I think, I need to check on this, but I think when I logged in, it said you had 99 spots. So if I can figure out how to get the kids logged into that, they can actually take those practice sessions.
Yeah, I think it's in one of the packets that Mary gave us when we first went to the training with her, like
I
a,
think I tried to do that from that packet, and the kids couldn't get in for some reason. So I'm gonna have to double check with her, but I told them when we come back from spring break, that's all we're gonna do. Mostly just to get them to understand that they have to answer each thing that's being asked.
that is a frustration for some of them.
Yes, it
They
is.
don't realize that there's
Yes.
so many spots.
So many
filled.
spots.
So that's what we're gonna practice, is going back and forth. Use that scratch paper, write down that question so that you can plug in the answers from the graphs or the charts or whatever. Because like I said, this first one, there was some math on there.
I mean,
Some of
It
those
was
screens
simple.
are not user friendly.
It was simple. No, it's not user-friendly at all. It's not.
And third graders already struggle.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna struggle.
I
They
mean,
just
because
are.
they're babies.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. I mean, it's hard for us. Can imagine being as young as them. I mean, yeah, they know how to use electronics a little better than we did when we were that age, but
But it's still, this is complicated. To go back and
It's not a video
forth.
game, it's, they have to pay attention to
Attention.
every detail.
I don't know how well they did the second time on that practice because they all saw, oh, we've already done this, and then we probably just
And they just
clicked
clicked.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that we're not gonna know how they did on that interim. We're not gonna get any results from that. We're not.
it. Did we the first one?
No. We did not. So, I mean, we don't really have anything to compare it to because we're not gonna get any results from either
And
one of
there
those.
are tests that you can actually assign to them in there too,
Mm-hmm.
so, which would be better, because then that way you can see the results.
And if you use Edulastic, you can make your own.
Yeah, so
I'm not doing
struggling
that.
with
I'm not.
That's
I'm not
a
gonna do that.
lot. Like, I went to
It's
look
too
on
much.
there and I thought,
It's too
What?
much.
mm-mm.
I used it a lot more last year than I have this year. I just haven't. I haven't done it this year. But this last year we're going to have Edulastic too. So yeah. But
Have they got a replacement, or?
not that I've heard of.
So how are you? So you're going to get them to log on?
If I can get them to log on, if not, all I did was screen print this, copy and paste it to a Word document, and print it out. So if that's how I have to do it to get them to be able to answer this, then that's what we'll do. And I'm going to try to do a couple a day, and go through it with them step by step by step. Now, a lot of them are going to understand it, but most of them are going to struggle with. And if they didn't have to keep going back and forth and scrolling up and down, it would be easier for
So
them
you're
to
going to put it
focus
on paper for them, not put it on their computer.
If I can't get them logged into that practice session, then yes, I'm going to put it on paper. Unless I can figure out a way to put this in Edulastic. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to attempt that before I do paper because they need that practice.
So the practice session is on Atlas, right?
It is.
Yeah, that's the one.
And I'll get you the steps to log into that if you haven't been in there.
I think I have. I think I've got it all.
But it's real tricky to get to. I mean, it's
Okay.
not, you can't, I first put in like on the search bar, didn't get me to it. But I think I wrote down the steps over there on how to get to it. Let's see. Let's go back to the rubric for a minute. And I'm going to show you what I did. Or what actually all of us did in fifth grade. Instead of copying 20 copies of this and having to write everybody's name on it, we just made an Excel document with each heading. So you got one, well, I mean, we end up having to have
So
two
what are
pages.
you doing on use of tools?
Use of tools, if they are using their mouse correctly, if they're using their some of them I walked around and I said, why don't you have your headphones in?
Mm-hmm.
Because, and they just didn't. And I said, if you want these points, you better put those headphones in. And you better be using that mouse correctly. If they're banging on their computer, if they're slamming down the mouse, that's what we give them the grade on.
Breaking pencils.
Yeah, yeah. Most everybody usually gets that. I mean, that's pretty much given. But I had two that tried to sleep.
Oh yeah, we had one in one
So
of the other classes.
they did not get the,
Time management.
was it that or attitude and pride? Yeah. And then I had one that finished in 10 minutes and just sat there and stared at the screen.
Yeah, we had one like that.
And then tried to go to sleep. I said, no,
Oh,
sir.
I had one
No, sir.
that I made them all go to the bathroom
Uh-huh.
at 8:15, and at 9 o'clock he's over there holding himself, and I was like, "No, you got to wait 15 minutes
Mhm.
because you were supposed to go at that time because you have to be sitting here for 1 hour."
Yeah.
After
what I
that,
told
then
mine.
I'll let you.
I said, guys, unless you are sick, unless you feel like you're going to be sick, you got to sit here for the 60 minutes.
Mhm.
I said, do not go out in that hall and drink a half a gallon of your water and then come in here to test. Get a quick drink And as soon as you finish, as soon as that 60 minutes is up, I will let you go to the bathroom. I will let you
Well,
get a
that's what
drink.
I've tried to tell mine, because they
I
have
will
to
let
do.
you eat candy,
Don't
whatever.
they have to go longer on, like, science is like 75 minutes, isn't it?
Mhm.
So they can't go to the bathroom in an hour. It's gotta be 75 minutes. Okay.
50,
I have a bathroom in my room, so I let
yeah,
them use it.
that's a
but-
little bit different,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, every other time I've had testing, you
If I
can
let
them.
one go, they
All
all
of them have to
I
go.
know, but yours, I mean, that's just how it's been in the past, that you can't allow them one at a time to go to the bathroom.
But I'm like you, I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if you let one go, the other 15 don't wanna go.
Mhm. And
Just
that's when
because
he
they
was
wanna
holding
get up.
himself and be like, he tests my patients every day.
Well, I had one that had not felt good, and I know they weren't feeling good. And I said, if you feel like you're gonna be sick during this test, you let me know.
Mhm.
And they did, and I had to go in the bathroom. But Katie was in the hall, so we were good.
Mhm.
But the ones that I know
That
just,
is why we have the hall monitor too.
yeah, some of them just wanna get up.
Yep, that's what this one was. He didn't.
And
have
I'm
to
like,
go.
mm-mm, no, because I know you just want to get up, get
Yeah.
out of here, mess around, and then come back.
Mhm.
Because they were wanting to submit in 20 minutes. I
Yeah,
said,
that was that one. He
Nope.
finished in 20
You're not gonna
minutes.
submit in 20
He wanted
minutes.
to do it in 20 minutes and then sit there and bounce around in his seat,
Mhm.
hold himself, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope.
Yeah, the ones that you know are just doing that. Now, if they're truly needing to go, then
And then
I'm
I
gonna
just let
let
him
them.
go, and then I made him sit in the hall with Brooke.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he was being disruptive.
That's pretty much all you can do with those
Mhm.
kids. Time management, yeah, we did. If they read, if they wrote, if they really took their allotted time, then they got all the points. But like I said, I had one, I don't even know if it was 20 minutes, and he just sat there and looked. He had about 5 sentences written. I said, "Are you finished?" "Yeah." 5 sentences? "Yeah." "Are you going to look at it again?" "No." I said, "Okay." So he didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
The scratch paper, like I said, they already knew because they'd already been doing that with Miss Sierra. So they knew. I had 2 that didn't write a thing on it. I said, "Then you get nothing."
Mm-hmm.
And so they did not get the reward. The use of tools and then test submitted. We told ours, you are not going to submit until 60 minutes or 50 minutes or whatever the test is. Like the literacy, the language arts part is 50 minutes. The writing was 60, the math is 70, and 75, and the science is 70. So, I mean, you're just going to have to sit there. We don't let them have a book.
Yeah, I didn't.
They cannot draw. They can do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and pretty much we're wanting to stay consistent on that because if they know they're going to get to do something,
They're gonna rush through it.
they're going to hurry up and rush through it and want to submit.
Yeah.
Now, the pullouts are a little bit
told
different.
them- I mean,
But did you
no,
let them draw or read or anything?
No, I mean, I told them they could write on the scratch paper, but most of
Right.
mine took the whole time.
Took the whole time?
I only had 2 who were done within the 60 minutes. And I mean, one of them was not done till like right up to like maybe 50 minutes.
Uh-huh.
We had a bunch that
but-
actually worked long.
Yeah,
Like-
I did too. I just had those couple that,
Mm-hmm.
But
you know.
mine, I mean, you know, when there, so yeah, I sent, I think there were 3 done when I got the message that, one of your classes
That we
was
were
done, and I
finished,
could
yeah.
send some back. Some of them couldn't come back because the one room, like Sierra's room. wasn't
yeah,
done.
she was the last one to finish.
But the rest of them were still working in like through lunch.
Right, I
mean,
know
had
some
the
of them really
2
took a
that
while.
worked. One got done just in time to go get lunch, and then the last one he worked until like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was
with-
after 2.
with Katie.
So when you come back from spring break and you're working on testing stuff,
Mhm.
how are you giving them grades?
I'll do participation, and then I will probably, I told him what we would do is go back and look at maybe one of the standards that we didn't cover as deep as what we needed to, but we covered it. And I'm gonna try to make this type of questions for that standard.
Okay, so are
And
you
that's what the
gonna-
grade will be. I'm only doing 2 a week. That's
So are
it.
you gonna focus strictly on science when we come back from, or are you gonna do social studies too?
I'm gonna do social studies too. A little bit,
Yeah.
usually I try to do 1 or 2 days a
Mhm.
week.
Of social studies, and then do the other on,
Yep.
on the testing.
Or do 20 minutes of social studies, but the bulk of your time spend on
Mhm.
science. And then after the test, we've still got another, 4 weeks or so,
Mm-hmm,
3 or 4 weeks. That's when I just do social studies pretty much.
mm-hmm.
But to get your grade in for both, I try to do 15 or 20 minutes. You know, like right now we're doing economics.
Okay, yeah.
So-
We're having our test on 13 colonies this week.
Mhm.
So then, that way when we come back, I'll be fresh, but we're doing the ecosystem and stuff in science too.
Yeah, yeah. But we're not gonna get finished before spring break with ecosystem.
No, we aren't either.
We'll have 2 lessons left, and I said, I am not gonna push it to get it all in this week and test on Friday. Because if I have 2 or 3, it's not gonna be here.
Yeah, see, we're doing our social studies test Thursday,
Mhm.
because I know a lot of them will be here Friday.
Yeah. So I said, we'll just come back, and then on Monday, that first Monday back, we'll cover the other 2, which really it's just 1 lesson because they're kind of combined.
Yeah, see, we're doing fossils and stuff when we come back.
Yeah, we're
So
not doing fossils.
It
Ours
was,
is just food chain, food webs, how are they the same, how are they different? And then,
yeah, we've been doing the habitats and non-living and
Mhm.
stuff, and then like how does the environment, like how do we mess with the animals' habitats and
right,
you know, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But then I saw the fossil things, and I know it's not really a standard, but I think that we'll just love every
Yeah.
bit of it.
Yeah.
And we've got baby chicks right now too,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna try to push Friday and let them hold on, and you know, just kind of
Right.
do that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they said we're doing a movie and all that Friday, and that. So
I don't have, I'm not
Anything
planning
else?
anything for
Me
Friday.
either.
I'm really just not gonna plan anything.
I'm not either.
Because I know they're all gonna be out of their mind because they know it's the last day. And we've got the book, what do they call it? The Winn-Dixie.
Yeah.
Special snacks. I
Special-
know,
And
but I
special
don't know.
snack.
And that
Are we
movie.
doing
And the
another
movie.
assembly? Are you talking about assembly?
Well, yeah, the book assembly.
Is there one
To end the
Friday?
book, I think.
Is there?
I think so, yeah.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it yet either. But I just put reward day, don't
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah.
You
I
just
mean,
probably all stay in
With,
home
with
room.
this bunch, they cannot have free time, so they will have something,
Yeah.
probably some kind of St. Patrick's Day something.
No, I've got a leprechaun thing.
But I've got like a sheet, it's kind of like a math geometry kind of thing that they can do in color. And then, it's like a little story about St. Patrick's Day, why we have it, what it is, that kind of thing. And I told them, I said, I probably will just take a grade on that because it's like 3 questions. Read the passage, answer the questions, and that's gonna be your grade
Mm-hmm.
for social studies. And then what we're doing in, this is probably just gonna be participation because, I mean,
Yeah.
there's not really anything I can grade them on right now on these 2 lessons in economy. So that's probably what we'll do. But, so yeah, when we come back, just try to focus mainly on the rubric, practice the rubric with them. I told mine we're gonna do it every day. We're gonna do the rubric every single day. That way, you're gonna know, I mean, you're gonna have 15 days of practice, pretty much, before we start testing. So you are going to know, this is what you have to do to get all your points in that rubric. And then, yeah, we're gonna have fun day, the day after, that Friday. Grade level wise, come up with something.
Oh yeah, what are we supposed to do on the whole basketball thing? So how are y'all implementing that in?
I found some things that are like basketball tickets, kind of like, and it's something like admission to the game. It's like an admission ticket, and you give it to them with their name on it, or they write their name on it. This is your ticket to get into the test. And then there's some things that like, I can't remember exactly what it was. But I'm gonna pull all that.
I've seen a lot of stuff on Teachers Pay Teachers with basketball and stuff.
Yep.
But like, are y'all decorating?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get that ordered, and
So is
each
every
grade level will get a set enough for each student.
student?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about.
No.
Okay.
No, we'll get it ordered. Last year we did military. So we had, what are those things called we had up on the ceiling? Those nets, those army net things. We put all that up on the ceiling. I had dog tags. We all had shirts that were, what it said. Do you know what those shirts said? They were like an army green, something. Anyway. Jennifer did tell me, she said, I don't have as much money as I had last year, so, but we're gonna see if we can still maybe get the t-shirts. And, what I saw was some, like the little Nerf basketball. They had them on the hallway wall.
I think they had the little basketball go over the balls at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah. And they had them taped up, I guess, glued up, taped up, something. And they did some kind of game with those. But like I said, I hadn't had time to really dig in it, but I know the admission ticket
Okay.
is one thing that we're gonna do. But yeah, we'll get all that and, and get that handed out to everybody. Everybody will get Kleenex. This is what we did last year. We had the little Kleenex packs for everybody, so you don't have to get up and keep walking around with tissue boxes. We had peppermints. And what we did was put each class enough of each one in a bag for every day. And we'll just hand those to you. I think we had peppermints and maybe Starburst or something like that. But anyway, everything will be divided for each class for each day.
Okay.
So you'll just get your supply for the week and you just hand them out after. And usually what we do is once we're finished testing, everybody will get either an extra recess. Usually we just let them go outside, but we'll just have to work on those times since it's taking so long. I mean, usually we try to go out right after we finish the test, but ours was close enough to lunch that we really didn't have time to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll work on a schedule that lets everybody go out for an extra recess. We're gonna give ours electronic day, one day after the test, so they can bring their phones, their iPads, their Switch. What else they bring last year, remember? Anything that's handheld. They cannot bring like a PS5 or Xbox. They can't bring any of that to plug up, but anything that's an individual handheld thing, they can bring. But only if they get their points.
I got an idea. What about like, you could do like maybe where somebody does bring you a console and they have like 2K tournament, like the basketball video
Oh,
game
yeah.
2K tournament.
Yeah.
Because like the basketball boys in high school do that at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And they do like a bracket of all the boys and do
We're
a
gonna
2K.
do something with the bracket, but I can't, like I said, I can't remember
But you
what
could
it
do
was.
like a 2K tournament.
Definitely
You know, as a
want
reward.
Adult supervision on that
Yeah.
gaming system though.
Well,
so that-
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but-
ours are so competitive, they'll get mad and
Yeah.
get into
But
it
you
and
would-
whatever, but
But you know,
we'll
if you
we'll see, we'll ask
do
about
like
that.
a reward, because I think that the boys would, I mean, because boys are going to be our hardest.
Yeah, yes, they
You
are.
know, to get their attention,
Mhm.
and that's a reward that they would like.
Yeah.
I mean, especially third grade and up, because that's video games. You know,
Yeah.
but the little 2K
Okay, I'll ask
tournament,
about that, yeah.
that would
Yeah,
be-
we're gonna try to do, like I said, I don't remember what the bracket, but there was something that we put on the bracket. I'm not sure what it was.
Mhm.
So I didn't have time to look for that yet. But we will. And we should have everything ready, either ordered or ready to order by the day we come back, that week we come back from spring break.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think
anything
I'm gonna-
else?
I think I'm going to video my fossil lesson plans for my master's thing, just because I feel like the kids are going to actually listen
Yeah.
during that.
Well, that's like, we finished the Holocaust last week, and the kids were so engrossed in
You know that I've had some third graders asking me about that, and I said, I think you learned that in 5th or 7th. I couldn't remember which grade.
It's 5, we have to do, starting in 5th grade, we have to do, some kind of lesson, something on it. Even though it's not in our standards, but the state
Want you to.
ask us to, yeah. And they probably will put it in the standards.
I just think
But-
it's a little hard for third graders to know any of that,
it
but
is.
I have some that are interested, really big history, and they were asking about.
Well, I've had several read, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
I've
And
watched that
Frank's
movie.
Diary.
I've watched that movie.
Mm-hmm. And the kids, I mean, these kids were like, they were really mean. I said, yeah, they were. They really were mean. And so a lot of them were like, how can anybody really be that mean? I said, well, there are people out there that are really that mean. They just are. So,
Some of these
but
kids-
they really, really enjoyed it, and they still are asking questions about it. And we're reading Number of the Stars as a class, so I'm reading it to all 3 classrooms, and we're almost finished with it. And they're like, you leave us on a cliffhanger every single time we stop. I said, can't help it. That's just where I'm trying to do a chapter, you know, and I'm like, that's where the chapter stops. So that's
Yeah.
all I can
That's
do.
the author's fault.
Yeah.
Okay,